So I've got no flowery intros here. I'm here to drive the Ford Bronco. I don't have a whole lot of time, so this is very much going to be a first impressions video, so let's get to it.
The Bronco comes with two engine options. Standard is a 2.3-liter turbo 4-cylinder EcoBoost.
So the more powerful 2.7-liter V6 gets 310 horsepower, but also a fair amount of twist with 415 pound-feet of torque. Now, all of that power on the low end of the range is really going to give you a lot of grunt, especially when you're going up something really steep or something that's super slippery.
The smaller engine may not have the horsepower of the V6, but it's lighter and definitely changes the feel of the truck, making it even more agile. And of course, you can only get the smooth shifting manual 7-speed transmission with it. But the power of the V6 works plenty of magic out on the trail.
But for some enthusiasts, the V6 just does not go far enough. All you have to do is ask Jeep and why they picked the timing that they did to finally stuff a V8 into a Wrangler, which they actually revealed the day that the new Bronco was revealed. Well, rivalries do make for excellent products, no?
The Bronco gets Ford's H.O.S.S suspension. That's the high-performance off-road stability suspension system.
So the H.O.S.S system with the independent front suspension absorbs a lot out here on the trail. It makes for a really smooth ride, even on some of the rough stuff. The Sasquatch off-road, that's what I'm driving right now, gets a beefed up version of that, which is even better. And I gotta tell you, if you're planning on doing hours of rock crawling, this is a really, really comfortable way to do it.
With the Sasquatch, the spring rates change because of the lift, and you get 3-position reservoir shocks that adjust really nicely to the different terrain you're on. This suspension is marvelous, in my opinion. The Bronco comes in 6 different trims depending on your Broncoing needs. The Big Bend base model will likely be the one modifiers buy. It comes with a hard top or a soft top, but you can only get that soft top on the 4-door model. And yes, that is the case across the board. Bummer. It also gets 16-inch steel wheels with 30-inch all-season tires. All Broncos are 4x4 capable with a low gear transfer case. Black Diamond and Outer Banks trims both cost more and add more amenities. Head to the Bronco configuration site and you can get yours up into the $60,000 range if you opt for the first edition 4-door. Sky's the limit with the options and add-ons like leather heated seats, a 12-inch touchscreen, and fancy audio equipment.
So the Badlands has a lot of those off-road goodies. It also has a disconnecting front sway bar as well as front and rear locking differentials for when you're going over really tricky stuff. Kind of like this. Ooh. Yeah.
The off-roading geometry with the Sasquatch package is sick. That's the off-road goodie bag that you can add on to any Bronco for about $5,000 that gets you front and rear lockers, a high clearance suspension, and fender flares so you can fit the huge 35-inch mud terrain tires you get on it. You also get an 11.6-inch maximum ground clearance on the 2-door and 11.5 for the 4-door model.
I mean, bottom line is this thing goes over pretty much anything.
The Land Rover Defender, Jeep Wrangler, and even Toyota could squeeze itself into the conversation with the 4Runner if you want it to, all round out a pretty formidable competitive set that proves uber capable.
So there's a ton of tech in here that's going to make off-roading really approachable for people who've never done it before. The goes over all-terrain drive modes really do change a lot of the settings when it comes to torque, throttle response, steering, and you get different settings for mud and ruts, for sand, for Baja, among other things.
Those modes adjust settings like sending torque to different wheels depending on terrain conditions, lock differentials, change throttle response, and gear and steering ratios.
Trail 1 pedal drive and trail control are basically, let's call them cruise control systems for off-road driving. Both of them are really great if you're wanting to focus more on your driving and less on the mechanics of the throttle and the brake. You know, if you want to do it yourself, you're obviously more than welcome to do that. Either way, you're going to be able to get over some pretty outrageous stuff. And I've got to say, this trail one pedal drive is a pretty killer system. It's basically like left foot braking in an off-road situation. I really like it. So I expected the Bronco to be good off-road, but what's it like on the road, especially with the Sasquatch package? In a word, I'm pleasantly surprised. Yeah, okay, that's 2 words, but whatever. I'm still very pleasantly surprised.
With the Sasquatch package, if you're not used to driving on big knobby tires, give yourself some time. They don't grip pavement as well as standard all-terrain tires, and they amplify road noise. But the ride quality feel is pretty darn good on the road. That H.O.S.S system that I was telling you about absorbs uneven pavement nicely, and your vantage point feels super high. The steering is surprisingly well behaved. You're not going to have to make a ton of steering corrections because of those big tires. Just be careful of taking corners at speed. Without the Sasquatch, you can still hear the road noise, but the manners are a bit more refined with smaller all-terrain tires. There's going to be a lot more to talk about with this one, and trust me, we are going to talk. So subscribe to the KBB YouTube channel, stat.
So Mike has already ordered his, so you know that we are going to talk so much more about this vehicle. It's got killer looks, it's full of really rad tech, tons of off-road capability, and very drivable on the road. You know what? The Ford Bronco, I said it here, it lives up to the hype.